Whether you're a student or an office worker, you have to give a presentation at some point, and you're going to have to make that presentation yourself at some point as well. For that, there's a ton of different softwares out there, the most popular of which are PowerPoint, Google Slides, and Apple Keynote. We're going to go over all three of those, and I'm also going to give you a fourth one that you've probably never heard about before. And we're going to start with Google Slides. See, the thing with Google Slides is that the pros, just to list it off the bat, are that it's simple, it's completely free, and honestly, those are the two biggest things that it offers, and that's why a lot of schools will use it. The cons, we'll list them here as well, is that there's no dark mode, there's not that many options, and it's hard to work with more advanced features, images, and graphics. We're going to start here with Google Slides. Google Slides is one of the most popular ones. I use it in high school a ton because of how simple and it's free, of course, so the school doesn't have to pay anything, and they get to work with Google probably to use it because Google's giving Chromebooks to everyone. And so we look here, here's Google Slides, and this is what we see when we try to open up Google Slides. Of course, you can, make one right from Google Doc or your Drive. Here, it's in light mode. I have an extension here, which is Dark Reader for Safari, and so I can press my keyboard shortcut and make it dark mode, but it is defaulted light mode, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm putting that in the cons section. That's a problem for me. I want to see dark mode. But what we can see, just looking straight at it, is these templates. And so some of these templates are okay. So, man, it does not like me zooming. Family recipes there, that one looks pretty nice. I know that I would use this prototyping one, that the black with the green and the blue there. That's nice. And all of these they're pretty simple and they're really flat. I think that's the best way that I could describe them. If we go into one here, we'll not pick the general one. That looks really bad. Your big idea, that orange looks really not great. So we'll just go with this prototyping one and hop in there. So this is why dark mode, I got to turn it off because some of the pictures will get messed up. So you can change the theme right from here. So you can change your template right from the right here. And then you can change your background. You can change your layout. So that's, which slide you're going to use. The theme again, and you can of course you can add some transitions, dissolve, slide, etc. And these give you the full template. So this template just gives you a bunch of different slides and a lot of places to put in text. This is Latin, so that I don't know what it means exactly, but you'll see it as a text placeholder, as you'd call it. And this is pretty cool. There's a lot of words on this. I don't think this is the best slide ever. Generally you want to avoid the words, but here's the theme here, focus. And so this is Google Slides overall. We can add text with the text box. You can add some images, of course, search the web. This is Google. You have access to Google, so you can find a bunch of pictures, I'm sure. Cat. There we go. Look at that. Nice little cat now in there. Creating images. Maybe it'll take a minute. But there's a cat whenever it decides to show up. Shapes, of course. This is the best shape you'll ever find. Rounded rectangle. This is a good one. And you can change the outline and whatnot. Can you do the? Yeah, there we go. Oh, I can't see a little. I don't know how to get the outline on here, and so that's going to be one of the cons. There's it's really simple, but as soon as you want to get complicated, Google Slides is going to give you some issues. So even if we try to move text around here, we can see that there's a great guideline for the center, and then great guidelines for hitting other boxes, as well as the distance from each box. But there's no guideline on the left and the right, and like the top border, bottom border, and whatnot. And that can be an issue, especially if you're customizing these templates to look a lot nicer and to look a lot more like you made it. Then we're that's Google Slides. I don't want to spend too much time on all of these. Obviously, there's a ton of different things that you can do with all of these programs if you really get into it. But just simple, off the bat, easy to use, ease of use wise, I'm not going to give the point to Google Slide. And so to give Google Slides some cons that I prepared beforehand, no dark mode. That's number one. Also, the options they're a bit lackluster compared to theme builder. They're a bit lackluster compared to other ones. This theme builder is a bit new, and you can change a bunch of things here if you really want to go through the effort there. But it's a little bit unintuitive than some of the other programs that we're going to talk about. Other than that, working with advanced features is a little bit hard. So images and graphics, I mean, this is cool, right? You can throw the cat, you have access to Google, like I said earlier. However, glyphs and icons and whatnot, it doesn't seem like there's as many, and it's a little bit harder to find than some of the other programs that we're going to look at. And next, we have that the templates, honestly, they suck. The templates in Google Slides is just not very good at all. These templates are supposed to be really good looking and really nice and stunning. Not just templates as in, oh, we just set up a bunch of things for you to fill out. I mean, that's cool for sure. However, this general look, like this template, like I said, this I don't remember what it was called, the focus here, it's pretty nice. I think it looks really good. But that's probably, this is probably the only template on Google Slides that I think looks okay. Simple, dark, I mean, it's simple, dark, right? What are you going to expect? But they don't have much flavor. They don't have much going for them. If I try to change the background, I'm pretty sure, you can do a gradient. So that's cool. And that might give you a little bit of depth to your thing. I don't know if you can change that gradient, but it's a little bit hard to look at times when you're working with Google Slides, especially if you're doing it for a while. You just, at some point, you're like, I don't like this anymore. And that might happen. And that's an issue for sure. And overall, it's just not that great with color schemes, in my opinion, especially what I showed earlier. Can we hit that button? This orange one, this is awful. I don't understand. Why would you use this? It's just, I don't like, I don't know, if you're reading Mark Manson's Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, maybe orange is what you're into. But generally, okay, they made this look nice, but generally this orange color and some of the templates that my college has that are kind of based on this orange, it's bad. It is not very good. And we can find a lot of things that probably look a ton better than some of the things we have here. Though this image is kind of cool, a little duct tape, little page, I think that's nice. But working with these images, pushing them to front and back, sometimes you'll have some issues with text wrapping. Overall, it can be an issue for sure. The next thing that we're going to move into, and also Google Slides is a web app, and that's pretty cool, I think. Being a web app, not having to install anything. There are some apps for your iPad and I'm sure Android devices as well for Google Docs, Slides, etc. in the Google Suite. And so you can access everything on your phone as well. Every single one of these has a phone app. I'm actually not sure if Apple Keynote is on the Android store, but I would assume so. So that's Google Slides. We're going to move on to the next very popular one, which is PowerPoint, of course. I'm just going to say it here, not a big fan of the Microsoft Suite in general. I think that the Microsoft Suite overall is just not very intuitive. I think it's really expensive, especially for what Google gives you for complete free. I get Google Slides from my school. I'm not sure if they offer it for free anymore because Apple Keynotes, Apple Pages, Apple Sheets, Google Slides, whatever, etc. All of that's free. And so I think that they're losing competitively a lot if they don't offer it for free now. But you do have to pay for the Office thing, and you can't just pay for PowerPoint. You have to pay for the entire thing. So that's definitely a con. And also dark mode. So this does have a dark mode. I will give it that point. Dark mode is not default, probably just because my system's on dark mode. But we do have a dark mode going on here, and that's really cool. But yeah, so PowerPoint. First, before I even click into anything, it is extremely, extremely not good on the web app. There's a web app now, as you can see on my screen. I'm not comfortable installing Microsoft products on my MacBook, so I don't do that. But you can see that these templates here, some of them are okay. Celestial has a nice gradient to it. Don't use Vapor Trail unless you're in middle school, But overall, these templates are similar to Google Slides in that they're not great. They have a bit more potential to be better, but they're still tacky and a little bit much. They're not something that you'd want to professionally present. I mean, if you're in a company, I'm sure that a lot of people use these templates. However, they don't look the best. If you were trying to, for example, pitch a business idea to investors, you probably wouldn't want to use one of these templates. It's not a good idea. And so these templates, I'm going to give it a -1 on that for the templates. And so we can go into one. Like I said, I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or if the Office suite is just bad, but it takes a while to load. It's overall just, you know how back in Windows, if you would click on an icon like too many times, it would open like 50 windows. I had that happen like 3 times on PowerPoint while I was just going through everything, preparing this video. It is rough. Also for Google, while Office wants to start working, for Google, you can go ahead, and this channel talks about Notion a lot, so of course we're going to add some more Notion. We can go to Drive here, and we can choose from the account that I had it in, and we can embed a presentation into the thing. We can't click through the presentation, which is a bit sad, but you can click into it, which may be something you want. And also, if you are someone that is going to use the Office suite, you're going to hit OneDrive here, and you would paste in the link here. Though I don't want to do that because OneDrive is not the move. But here we can, if we hit share, is there a link option here? Yeah, there we go. Share, embed. And what we can do is we can copy this, close it. We head on to Notion. I'm actually not sure if the OneDrive will like this. /OneDrive here. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. But if I type in embed, Notion has a workaround for everything, don't you worry. Then we can throw it into the embed, hit enter, and it does not look very good at all. Yep, sign in. That's not what we like to see, is it? But this is the internal of PowerPoint. So similar to Google Docs, you see that there's some themes and stuff at the side here. We can look at that. No, look at nice colors. Is those colors messed up because of my thing, or is that right? I think that's right. I think that's what it's supposed to look like. But anyway, similar to Google Slides, we can see shapes. We can fill stuff in. Text, of course. You can change the text size. I mean, there's some basic things that I don't need to go over. They're in all of them. But you see kind of the similar things as you saw on Google Slides. So insert, draw, design, transitions to go between them, or animations, so the difference between a transition goes from one slide to the other side, and animation is something you apply to text, for example. So while you're on a slide, the text will do a thing. That's an animation. Slideshow, review, view, help, that's for comments and whatnot, and working with other people. Of course, if you're on a team, Google Docs or Google Slides, super easy to share with a bunch of people, work with people. Google has the best collaborative algorithms ever. You can real time see what people are typing with almost no lag. It's really good. Microsoft has something like that as well. It's not as good. Apple has something like that as well. It's just not as good. Google has that down packed if you're trying to work with people and you want to see what they're doing live. But other than that, other applications will, of course, let you work with other people and go ahead and look at where they are, what they're doing, just not as updated as Google Drive will. These are the things that we can see in what would you call this? This is PowerPoint. There we can add a new slide. You can change what type of slide you're adding. How do I bring up what I don't know what these buttons are. And you can change the theme colors here for the text and whatnot. Can we bring in the thing back again? Oh, here we go. Design. You can bring your designer back here. Change the colors. That is weird. That looks like I zoomed into a chair. And so you can see that again. Some of these templates are tacky. They're not that great. They shouldn't be used in a professional setting, especially if you want to stand out. Whether you're in a classroom or you're presenting in a meeting at work, these two things, slides and PowerPoint, they don't offer something extraordinary that you can easily work with to make something really good. Low effort, high output. that's what we call efficiency, right? And so these aren't going to be very efficient. If you want to make these look good, you're going to have to put in a ton of time, a ton of work, a ton of effort. You're probably going to have to make a lot of custom stuff. You're going to have to Photoshop here, which we don't want to do. And so, yeah, that's going to be PowerPoint. I'm going to put this one at the bottom of the tiers, honestly. Pros and cons probably on the screen again. Pros, dark mode. And there is a lot of options. Honestly, there's a ton of options. You can look at the transitions here. There's a lot of them. So our next big hitter, and I say it's a big hitter, but honestly, you're probably not going to see this one very much. You probably don't see this one very much. And it's Keynote. And so Apple Keynote is personally one of my favorites. I really like Apple Keynotes. It combines some of the great parts of Google Slides and some of the great parts of PowerPoint. It keeps the simplicity of Google Slides if you just want to make something really simple, and it still allows the options for super complex stuff and gives you the opportunity to move into more complex work if you want to do that. And I think that's really cool. So the templates for Apple Keynote, I almost said Google Keynote, for Apple Keynotes they're pretty nice. I think they're, basic white, basic black. These are flat, but they're the good type of flat. And then minimal. And so color gradient light, color gradient, we're gonna go into that one because I really like color gradient. I think that one looks great. Photo essay, slate, which is similar to color gradient but with a different color template. Bold has it's a bit more picture focused and a bit more custom focused. Editorial, portfolio. There's a ton of templates, much more templates here a few more templates here than slides and PowerPoint. But I'm gonna go into color. Oh, you can change the crop if you want to do that. I'm going to go into color gradient. I think that one looks the best. Light color gradient also looks pretty cool, but I'm a dark mode guy. Oh, and dark mode is available on Keynote. So that's what we like to see. One question you might have is there a web version of Keynote? Yes, there is. So if you have an iCloud account, you can go ahead and open your browser of choice. And all you would have to do is go to iCloud.com, sign in. You can, for free, use, and making an account is free. You don't need to buy an iPhone. You can go ahead and use Keynote numbers, pages, reminders, and you can use all of these for free. Again, the web version, it's not the best for sure. So if you're on an Apple device, you can install Keynote for free, and it works great there. I've used it on an iPad before, and it's great. I have used it on a Windows computer before. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi. Maybe it was my laptop at the time, but it was a bit of a rough experience. Going on to Keynote, one of the things Keynote does incredibly well, and this is going to be small. I don't think many other people are going to care about this like I care about this. The gradients. I think that Apple does gradients absolutely stunningly. I mean, as you can see, color gradient here, and so you can pick the simple colors. You can go a bit complicated and pick much more colors here, which I'm not going to do because that looks awful. Command Z again, or you can go to advanced gradient fill, and you can see basically what you would see in Photoshop in order to change these gradients. And we'll change that back again. Command Z to undo if you didn't know. But yeah, the gradients are super nice, and as you can see, so if we hit add slide here, we can see all of the different slides that they give us here with the photos and stuff. And so some of these, I think this is kind of cool, but Apple uses some of these. I know for a fact that Apple has used this template and this slide in some manner. Obviously, the picture was different, and the text was the text was filled out in their presentations, in their keynotes that they have a few times in a year. And so you can see that you can change the text normally. So this is the text box. You can change the text box, of course. We'll change that back. You can fill the text box. Drop shadow, etc. And similar to slides, you can see a center in the up and the down area, but there's no bars for the left and the right. And so that's a bit of a bummer there. Now, if we go to text, we can see a ton of options available to us for text. So if we go here to text and we write in text, this is usually what I use for my thumbnails. There we go, intro. And you can add your gradient fills just like we saw earlier. You can update the section format. So if I hit update here, and then I hit add slide and I hit section, now instead of the previous thing we saw, it'll update to the thing that I updated to. So intro, it would also update if I change this or change the type or the italicize, bold, etc. All of this will carry over if I hit update. Arrange, this is like bring it forward, backward, and so this makes it really easy to play around with that. And of course there is animation, so if we hit animate while we're on a slide, we can do something cool that slides and PowerPoint didn't offer. We can just preview. We can hit preview, so we can see what it looks like if we, instead of having to just use it. So we can choose, I think the only one that you would ever want to use is dissolve. And so if we hit play here and hit enter, nice little fade. That takes a little bit too long, but you can really quickly come here and change that down to 0.5. I think that would be okay. Automatic start transition, etc. And so you can see all of this, and there's also some cool stuff with graphs here and charts. So you can see these 2D graphs, which we'll come back to this slide and show a cool little thing that I figured out to do for one of my projects. But open another blank one, get a chart. These interactive ones are also really cool. So what we can do here is let's hit option, and that will let us equally open this up. And so what we can do is we can actually see that it'll change. And so when we click through the slide, we can have this slight animation in our slide, and that'll add a little bit of life to what we do. And before we go back to this graph, I want to say that for text, you can also animate just the text. So similar to what you saw in PowerPoint, there's a difference between transitions and animations. Apple puts it all in one thing, but we can say action, or not action, we want build in, so that when we hit it, anvil, this is something, anvil as well as confetti and anvil are things that Apple themselves have used before. So if we hit play now, we can go through, boom. We've seen that from Apple, usually like when they introduce some big metric that's changed, and you can see 3 little dots there, and then you can see a little blue line there for the transition applied or the text transition applied. A cool thing that we can do with these graphs here, which I want to show, is we can add an effect. We can add wipe here, and you can see that does a wipe to the whole thing. But if I make this bigger, so we hit option here and make that bigger, let's change the zoom to 50, hit option, make it bigger again. What we can do is we can take our delivery and do it by series, build from the second to the last. You can do the from left and right. You can change a bunch of random things here. And then what that will give us is this nice little thing. Now it animates by itself here. We need to make it so that it happens automatically. So build order, and we're going to do after previous build. And now if we start here, not add slide, play, and then boom, nice little anvil comes in there. And then you automatically have this nice transition of your lines for your data, which I think is really cool. If you want to use that, you can change these lines as well. You can change the specific line. So if you go to format again, there's the series. You can change the chart type here. You can change how the lines are connected. So are they curvy? Are they straight, dotted, dots, etc.? The color, if you want to do that, data symbols for the little, for the April, May, June, July here. You can add all of that if you want to. Overall, Keynote has a ton of options while also still being super simple if you want to do that. And I think that it has some really nice, usable templates available to it for sure. And I would give a big thumbs up to Keynote. I'm a big fan of Keynote. And so for the pros and cons here, we have dark mode, a lot of features and options. We have gradients that are done very, very well. It's easy to work with for simple projects while also giving you the opportunity for more complex projects. And again, it is completely free. There is a web version available as well. However, for cons, you might get lost in the sauce. Sometimes these options can get a bit tricky and not fun to work with, but overall, I would say that Apple Keynote is a great choice to use. However, the look can still be a little bit leaving to be desired, and that's where the last application that I have in this video is going to come in. The next application that I have for you is probably one that you've never heard about before, but it is really, really, really good, especially in its what we called earlier efficiency. Low effort, high output. sort of like the templates that this thing offers is incredible. And so we're gonna go ahead and open it up here, and it is pitch presentation. So obviously I open an application, but this is available as a free application on web as well. You don't need to install anything. If you're on Windows, you can do this as well. And this offers you a ton of great things. I will say the application doesn't have a dark mode, but pitch, just like the name implies, was meant for startups that wanted to pitch their ideas to investors. And so this is actually, although you might not be doing that, you might just be giving a presentation in school. I'm going to be using this. So you can see some of my folders here. I'm going to be doing this for my classes. And then if you're at work, you can use it too. But what pitch really gives you, more than any of the other things that we've shown you before, is the templates. Templates. That is what pitch has to offer as a competitive edge above all of the other presentation software that we've seen until this point. So this is pitch here. This is a really nice and simple thing. You have a dashboard. I don't want to click into any of these because some of my there's some names of group members that I want to show. And one thing, so we can see our first set of templates, which is just one. And this is actually a template that I made, right? So one of the cool things about pitch is you can make your own template. So if we use one of the templates that we will see in a minute, we can change them, update them, and then go ahead and repurpose it. If we change it so much that it's so different from the template we had earlier, we can go ahead and make that into a new template that's personal to us. And so we can see this one. And what's really cool, I think, is as you can see, I clicked on this template. Instead of opening a new project, it lets me see the template. It lets me get a look at what I'm going to be working with. So this is mine again. So I didn't add too many things. This is personal. And what I really have is these nice gradient lines here, and more lines if you want. I'm not sure if I can publish templates. If I can do that, it will be in the description. That's my template. That's the one I have. But then we go to the pitch template gallery. And what we can see is 1 scroll, 2 scroll, 3 scroll. There are a lot more templates here than any of the other applications that we have seen so far. And you can scroll over it. It'll give you a little GIF going through them if you want to do that. There we go. It gives you a look at all of them. Again, we can just click on it one time just to see what it's going to look like. See what we can click into all of these different slides that the template offers, and this is super cool in my opinion. I would think one of the let's see, what's one that I haven't used before. This board deck. There's some orange going on here, and yeah, sure, we'll use it. I'll take the orange on this one. It's orange and black. I know earlier I said I didn't like the orange from the Google Slides, but this is a lot nicer than Google Slides. So you can change your style here. You can add another one if you. This is similar to what you saw in Slides. When I press that button, you can completely change what the template looks like. So if you say you love the template, you love the backgrounds, you love the pictures and everything, but you don't like this text, so we can go here and we can go ahead. And so this is going to be a title headline chart that's going you. Do they have intro? They don't have intro. You can upload your own. You can upload your own fonts here if you would like to do that. For now, we'll just pick. I actually like this. I like this font, honestly, but we could change it to. So this is subheadline and normal text, small text. We could say we want to let's see, ASAP condensed. If you want to use that, you could use that if you want, and it'll show you what it would look like right there. I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna hit cancel on that one. But one thing this offers you is keyboard shortcuts if you want it. So I can hit T, and that'll let me add some text right there just instantly. And then what's also great, so as you can see, it gives you the great bars, and they're super thick, and it's really snappy. If I hit Command, it lets go completely, so I can move it where I want to, so it's not too constricting at all. But there's also these guidelines. So it will tell me when I hit the top. It will tell me when I've hit like this sort of, I don't know, frame point, I guess. I think this is super awesome, and it helps a lot with moving things around and making your own slides and making all of this your own. So if we go ahead and close that out, delete that, what we can do is we can add a new slide, of course, and boom, look at this super nice looking slide. This looks absolutely incredible. This is stunning. And you can, if you want to, you can go to design, you can change the background image. You know, this is the one they give you. You can add some filters to it if you want. I think that pink looks kind of actually nice, but it doesn't change this. We can change the color there if we would like to. We can pick a color, grab that one. There we go. Look at that. Look at how quick and easy it is to work with. And of course, you know, change the thing, text. And also if it's like, oh, I need a slide that isn't in this template. What we can do is we can just hit pitch template gallery, and we can go through all of these templates that they had earlier, and we can just pick a different one, and we can just steal this from it. All right. And what we can do as well is we can go to design, go to background color, and just steal a different one. So presentation colors. So this is the style that we have here. So obviously this is a different style. And so that's why the text font is different. That's why everything's different. So if I change the style, it will do that. But we'll keep it a dark we'll change it back to board just to keep everything uniform. And then we can see style colors, and we can pick the background so that the backgrounds match, because you want to have that uniformity. You don't want it to change too much when you hit next. Now that we've switched back, we can see some of these others. So maximize will let us see it a little bit bigger. Here's some metrics. Oh, there's adding it all to the side because I hit add slide. And so that gives these nice images that are just super nice to look at and super professional and just really great. And so let's go ahead and just make a blank slide. So, no blank slide, but we can really quickly just go ahead and select everything. We have this blank slide, and we can look at some of the other things they have. So you do have this unsplash. So it's not Google, but we can look up cat again. Get a nice cat here. Look at that nice cat. Really easy to work with, especially with these little guidelines. Again, media. And what's really cool, I think, there's GIFs, of course. Don't do that. Please don't add those to your presentation. But what's really cool is these icons. You've seen me use some of these icons in Notion. I didn't get it from Pitch specifically. I used a different website, but look at these nice gradient icons here. So we can see some logos there, and then a nice little pencil, a little headphone thing. I think this looks really cool. It gives you a bunch of that. And then brand logo. So we can actually go ahead and go to even like, this is my friend's company. So there's the logo right there. And so we can do something really cool. We can just whip out this company. Obviously, friend's company, it's pretty new. So if I go here and I typed in Shade Robotics, you know, it wouldn't really give me anything. But if I put in the link there, it will really quickly and easily just grab that logo out for me. I don't know how they do that, but they do that. And yeah, there's the logo. If you want, you can go ahead and add these filters to things, or just give it none. But I think all of that is really cool. And if you want to, you can, a lot of times. So this one is just, this one's just an image. But if we say made a new slide and we used, say this conference talk one, you can see that these images are actually something that you can pull out, use, and you know, play with yourself. And I've done this for one of my presentations. I would take these, move them around, and kind of just make it look like my own instead of just following the template completely. But I put in that extra effort. You could also not put in that extra effort. And if we went ahead and went back to our board deck here, we could just go ahead and shift command select all of these, get rid of it all. We'll leave we'll just get rid of all of that. So we can go to templates, and we can just add all 23 slides. And then, oh wow, this is an image. I didn't even notice that. Oh, that's because I selected something else. Yeah, they added a nice little video on there. You can add a little recording of yourself if you want to, and embed tables, of course. Charts as well, some super nice charts actually, and they have some nice integrations here from a CSV, from Google Sheets, Chart Mongol. I don't know what that is, but you can do that. Some line charts, area charts, and whatnot, and you can do these, and this is super cool and super easy to work with. See, I think with Pitch, They designed a presentation software. That's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to just design something in an ecosystem for a suite that they have, like, the Google Drive suite, the Apple iWork suite, I think it's called, and then the Office suite. Pitch is a presentation software, and they've done an incredible job at making all the text, or all the keyboard shortcuts there. We can go to this little question mark, and we can see a bunch of different keyboard shortcuts. You can, let's say bullet point. So add a bulleted list, L then B. So LB. That L is actually really cool. Let's get rid of that L. Look at that. You can just add a bunch of different stuff here. So LB, LN, LC. You're going to make a checklist, and then check 2. And it's all just super nice, super intuitive to work with, and super clean to look at. It's not that this software has no cons whatsoever, however. One thing that I do really wish they had was gradients. They don't have any sort of background gradients. Now, I know you shouldn't go crazy with the gradients. They have the little icons that we saw earlier, and some people are going to be like, I don't want to put 80 billion gradients. And if that's you, awesome, not a problem for you. This is not a con that matters to you. For me, though, I love the gradients. You saw that, like, I had to make my own template with different lines just to get some gradients in my life. But like for the background, adding that nice, like, even like a black to black sort of gradient, black to just a little bit less black, it adds this depth and this feeling that I really enjoy. But obviously the complete black is perfect and wonderful as well. But wow, this is really nice to look at. But that's what I'm saying. I'm opening a template. I'm going through a template, and I think it's really cool. This doesn't even say anything. And then another thing that some people will have an issue with is that there is, at this moment in time, of course, this, again, like I'm saying, updates every single week. They're adding a bunch of stuff all the time. There's even this little like record thing they added. You can add a little like recording of your face that plays when you get into the slide if you want to do that. Maybe for Zoom presentations or whatnot, this could be cool. There's collaborative features as well. You can invite people, of course, and they can work. You can see what slide they're on, what they're doing, just like the other ones. No animations whatsoever. As of right now, there are 0 animations available. You cannot, obviously there's a video here that's that's not an animation, that's a video in the background. So I can't animate from one slide to another slide. At the moment, that's just not possible. We can set slide status to do, in progress, done. I think that's cool. Assign it to someone, different comments, different reactions, notes, which are like speaker notes here. If we hit play and we go through this, it looks great. Obviously that video thing popping up is a bit wonky, but just when you're presenting, I guess don't move your mouse. But it looks really good. But there's no animations and there's no transitions in any way, shape, or form. I think that overall this shouldn't be an issue. The thing is about animations, you don't need them. And honestly, you probably shouldn't use them. It's just not often that you're going to need an animation, and it's not often that you're going to be able to make it look good either. There are times, however, when it is okay and when it does look really nice. I think not having the option at all is probably better than having a bad option. But we do see that Apple, as in their keynotes, like I said, they use some of the animations that they've built into their own software. It's there. It's not very big. It's not very common. You don't see these crazy slide transitions. You just see like text, do that little puff of smoke thing, the anvil effect. You see text come together with the confetti effect. You see that sometimes in that in-between phase of things, or having the lines animate onto the graph. That's really cool. Or having the graph sort of dynamically change shape over the progression of your slide. That's really cool as well. And those aren't hardcore animations, but those are subtle, simple animations that add emphasis and power to your slides. And I think that that's a little bit of something that they're missing. Another cool part about Pitch is this little button here. You can very quickly and easily work with these templates. These templates are made to be played around with, and it gives you so many options to move around and play with the templates. And so Pitch, what it does is it gives you a template that you can use all the way from start to finish. I like to customize the templates because I personally like to add that bit of personality to my presentations. However, you can take one of these templates, hit add all X amount of slides, and then just use them and just go through. And obviously you're not going to use all of them, but you can make these slides and just fill them in. And unless anyone knows what pitch is, and they've used the slides before, A, they won't know it's a template, and B, it looks stunning. It looks incredibly professional and incredibly stunning. They are very good and very, very highly recommended from me. And so that's all I'm going to show you here today. So we went over Google Slides, Microsoft PowerPoint, Apple Keynote, and pitch presentation. Slides and PowerPoint, don't use them. Apple Keynote, honestly, a really good choice. It does give you a lot of options. If you really need the animations, go use Keynote. And then there is pitch presentation. I do hope to see some gradients soon, and I do hope to see some manner of animations at some point down the line. However, they're continuously working on pitch, and they have some incredible templates. And so if you want to quickly, easily make a great presentation, I would recommend using pitch. And so that's going to be all for this video. Another really long one. Whenever I make the software video, it's all really long, but hopefully it brought you some value, and we'll make some, and maybe I'll make some other videos on pitch at some point. But for now, that's going to be all. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Much love. Peace.